Rewound with our very special guest star, the incomparable Gene Kelly. Yeah! All right, yeah, I got it right this time. I didn't get the unfortunate sad trombone. All right, how are you, BlueDragonFive? We're back for another round at the Muppet Show Rewound. Guess what?
What?
Since you're on the East Coast, it's officially just 1 week away from the premiere of the Muppets.
Yeah.
Dating this podcast. Yeah, right at the start. You know how I like to do it?
Yep. Anyway, but the right way.
BlueDragonFive. In all seriousness, how does it feel just to chronicle this time in our life, this special moment of hope and excitement before a new Muppet Show hits the airwaves? How does it feel to be less than a week away at this point?
Feels pretty big.
Big. That's a good word for it. It's like we don't want to say like feels amazing yet, because it'll feel amazing once we get those first couple episodes and they live up to everything.
Yeah.
But for now, all we can do is just cross our fingers and just hope that everyone else loves it as much as we're hoping to love it, and hope that we love it as much as we're hoping to love it.
Again, they have a safety net. Even if it's bad, we still have the Muppet characters just trying something really completely opposite of what they've tried before. So even if Crash and Burns, we can say, man, look at what they tried, though, and look at just how funny you've seen our characters in this situation.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't want it to be bad by any stretch.
Likewise. I'm saying it's a big risk for the Muppets, but I think they can pull it off.
Indeed. So anyways, speaking of the Muppets, we are here to not talk about the new Muppet Show. I'm sure we'll be doing plenty of that over the next few weeks.
Certainly.
And onward, and hopefully far into the future if all goes well. But today we're here to talk about the third of 5 very special Muppet Show episodes that we decided to handpick for you guys to kind of chronicle sort of the best in terms of the Muppet Show guest stars, and also some of the episodes that break the mold, kind of add sort of like new twists to the variety show formula, use the guest stars in very specific and funny and endearing ways, and this one's definitely no exception. I love the backstory of this episode, for one.
Oh, yes. It's interesting. I just kind of noticed this with the 5 we've picked out for these ones to start. Yeah. They all are about celebrities at different points in their career, different points of success, different kind of big claims to fame. And, of course, it's going to be said for any insurmountable amount. There was like looking at 5 in comparison. I mean, none of them are alike. Like they're all very different. Our next one's going to be kind of a young guy making his break in it. And before we've had Queen of Comedy, and we've had in the beginning.
So basically, we had Steve Martin, and he was kind of like, yeah, you're right. He was the young guy, and he was like, so he's kind of starting out.
He's the main comedian. Like Steve Martin is kind of the main comedian, just kind of making the break from comedy into the film comedy genre. Then we got. Because again, The Jerk was a huge movie. You got to remember that. It was like a huge kind of farcical film.
Definitely.
Then, of course, Carol Burnett.
Carol Burnett, who I think was arguably even more on the top of her game.
Absolutely. I mean, variety show queen, even at that point. Just the Carol Burnett is always like a powerhouse, no matter where you find her at. It's astounding. And, of course, Gene Kelly was kind of he's kind of the epitome of old Hollywood. Still thriving in that day. Just the talent and the charisma and everything. Of course, next we're going to be seeing star with kind of this, he's kind of making his break in there, and who's going to become kind of ingrained into the cinema history. And of course, following that, we got, following that down the line, we got kind of one of the big, huge comedic actors of just like whose work is instrumental. One of the guys who inspired a Muppet movie in itself. We got coming up. Well, no, not coming. I mean, one before it's already been out, but I'm saying from the Muppet Show onward. It inspired years down the line. I'm very tempted
to quote the end of a particular Kubrick movie right now, but I'm not going to save the surprise.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about Gene Kelly on the Muppet Show here.
Indeed, Mr. Gene Kelly.
This is one of my favorites, by the way.
It really is. I gotta say, after watching this might be my favorite Muppet Show episode I've ever seen.
I told you it was good. Anyway,
it definitely lived up to your hype.
You know something? I would go as far as to say this. I couldn't. Tiki, did you get the episode number? Did you watch this on YouTube by any chance?
I did watch it on YouTube.
Here's the thing that I can never. I don't know if you can do this or not, David. You can like look up what the number of the episode is.
Let me. Well, why don't you set it up a little while I do that?
Yeah, basically, I'm asking this because this episode is kind of like again one of my favorites. It's absolutely fantastic. And kind of the theme of it's throughout this, and kind of the reason I think it really stands above a lot of the rest is that it has this kind of this great old Hollywood vibe, just all the class and charisma you want on a variety show with the Muppets there. And the big thing is that it's Gene Kelly, guy who's at the top of his game with Singing in the Rain. May remind us years later. If I'm right, just guessing, I want to guess like 20 years after Singing in the Rain because it feels very 50s. I want to say it was in the 50s it came out, and that the Muppet Show in the 70s.
Right.
So that's my assumption. 20 years. That's still pretty big. Of course, years down the line, still still a huge movie. It was like the big musical movie essentially. That was one of the biggies. And
it was season 5. I'm looking to see how far down into it was.
That's the thing. I need to know that number specifically because what I'm getting at, folks, is that this episode has like plus the running gag of the end of the world makes me think this would have been a fantastic way to end the Muppet Show.
It's season 5, episode 24, I believe.
Okay, out of how many?
I'm not sure. That's what I'm trying to look up right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying because I remember it was like I've heard like I've seen like
because I pretty much guessed what you were gonna ask me. So
yeah, because I've seen because I've seen different numbers on it. I just want to make sure like which one is because if it is the last one, I think it'd be a very appropriate last one.
Oh my God, it's the most fitting finale. You're
exactly,
right.
Because it has some hilarity with like the end of the world, but also like if you're gonna have one of your last guest stars, it's gotta be a guy who who's kind of the guy who's tried to walk away from it all, and he's just kind of going out on the high note. That's what you would want from the Muppets, a guy who just kind of goes out on the high note, but still has all the charm and lovability he's always had. That's something that coincides with the Muppets perfectly.
Okay, hold on. I'm scrolling down the list of episodes. Season 5.
Yeah, still going strong in season 5 with these guest stars. Too, towards the latter half, Carol Burnett and Gene Kelly just towards this latter half of the Muppets.
No, it does not look like. Gene Kelly was the last episode.
Is it like in the the late 20s though? Is it close to the end, or is it like?
I'm trying to. I don't know. They're numbered very strangely, and I get the feeling that it might not even be in the right order. So.
The point is, would you agree with me? It wouldn't make an excellent finale for the Muppets.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're sorry, folks. We're just fools who don't have our facts straight on this one particular fact.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, still just this episode always stuck out to me, especially the ending of this episode. I think it's perfect. We're going to build to it because I think it's just truly.
Oh my God, I totally agree.
Watching it as a kid too. I watched it as a kid, and I'm watching years later on VHS tape, and just watching it now on YouTube. Now, I can tell you, it just holds all the residency I did when I was a kid, just watching. It's like this is such a beautiful moment.
Dragon, I have a lot of appreciation for Hollywood and old cinema and stuff like that, and movies like Casablanca are some of my favorite films of all time.
And Casablanca and Maltese Falcon, fantastic films.
Of course, but I've got a confession to make.
You've never seen Singing in the Rain?
No, I've never seen Singing in the Rain.
You've never seen Gotta Dance?
It kind of sucks. It kind of sucks for my credibility.
I can't believe you never seen, not even once.
I know.
Tell me you've seen the clip of him doing.
Of course, I've seen all the clips. I've seen everything.
At least you have some
sat down and watched the actual film from beginning to end. It's one of those kind of movies.
It is a great movie though, because
it was the same. Dude, believe me, it was the same way with The Godfather until very recently. Okay, and I did sit down and watch The Godfather, and I was like, holy shit, I get it now. I understand.
Well, for those
I understand, like Nathan Petrelli should understand. But we're not going to go there.
Well, for those who, to be fair, to be generous, there may be other people in Tiki shoes here who haven't seen it, just like say, oh, we know Gene Kelly.
Sure. But, I'm just saying, like, I tout myself as like a big like film buff, so like it kind of doses my credibility a little bit.
Well, look, to address real quickly, or you and anyone else who hasn't seen the movie, Just so you know, it's a really it's a good watch. You should try to watch at least one time because it's a great.
I should. It's on my to-do list.
But bear in mind, this movie comes out. I'm going to assume I want to say like 52, but it's like in the early to mid 50s. This came out, I'm pretty sure. And the story of it's actually really interesting. It's about kind of Hollywood's transitional period. So it's a film in the 50s that takes place around the late 20s. It's kind of I want to say late 20s because it's kind of the bridging area of like sound introduced to movies.
So it's almost kind of like the classical version of what the artist was trying to do.
Yeah, and it's
in a way.
In a way, and it was kind of the original do it. You know, it was just showing. It was the whole transition to talkies, and the idea is Gene Kelly's character, who was like a fantastic silent movie actor, is having a little trepidation about those transitioning thing, and the idea is there's this female actress he works with, and again, it really explores the loveliness of old Hollywood of what it was like to be a big movie star back in the days of the silent movies, the glitz and the glamour, and you'd have this
those ginormous frickin' sets, those indoor frickin' warehouse sets.
Fantastic. In addition to the sets, I mean, like the behind the scenes of Hollywood too. That was one of the big things of the movie. The movie actually has really on the nose in a good way, kind of like really behind the scenes of how old Hollywood worked. So you saw. And one of the big things, like even with the cast members, so the idea is Gene Kelly hated his leading lady in all the movies they were in all the time movies, because she had this really annoying high-pitched voice. She was really jealous. She was head over heels for him, even though he didn't care a lick about her. And of course, he went for Debbie Reynolds because this other one he's with is like, oh god, she's terrible. She's nails on a chalkboard. I hate this. But he had to kiss her. But again, he had to kiss her in the movie, so it's like, you see, she's very annoying though. She kind of
I'm sure.
The point is, a great character like Don Connor, and it's great. It's a good movie. It's good watch. It's kind of you'll feel very nostalgic for old Hollywood.
No, I need to watch it for sure. Believe me, you're not telling me anything I don't already know.
So folks out there, check out it's a piece of cinema history,
Okay. So without further ado, do you want to get into the episode proper?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it.
Can we address the behind the scenes about it that kind of emanates through the whole thing?
That's it's very kind of important to the overall running gag, I think. So
you tell us about it.
Okay, well, essentially, they got Gene Kelly to be on the Muppets, and like we said, it was very late into the show's run, so I'm sure it was a big deal. And Gene Kelly had one condition. What was that condition?
That condition was he did not want to do Singing in the Rain.
Nope. Could do any other song, just not that. Just not that one particular song.
And again, you're going to get some really fantastic emotional reasoning for that later on in the episode. It's beautiful. And again, we can assume that's kind of the real issue brewing underneath us. Again, the Muppet Show, as great as the comedy and variety show this is on the surface, deep down, I think we're going to see this with Peter Sellers down the line. Is that you really just kind of there is truth to what the stars are going through underneath it all sometimes.
Absolutely. But would it be fair to say that Peter Sellers and both Sellers and both Sellers and Kelly have kind of a typecast thing going against them?
Gene Kelly, yes. I'm trying to think of. Peter says he can do anything, though. It's just hard to put in that mindset. Yeah, he was a chameleon. But would you say at least like with Clouseau, would you say that was probably his role that people most recognized him for? Well, I don't know. It's because he just loved doing the. Well, I mean, he kept doing the films until the end, and that's basically half of his life onward. He just kept doing sequels to it. So I don't know if he tried for other stuff or not. I can't recall off the top of my head. Bear in mind. I mean, it's perfectly feasible. God knows the world needed a Dr. Strangelove too. Yeah, I mean, perfectly feasible that he had the same issue as any actor in typecast. I mean, Adam West did. He suffered greatly from that, and thankfully he got over that. And again, there's down soon enough. There's this episode, The Gray Ghost, where it reflects on that in the animated series. It has Adam West on for that one. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Mark Hamill, speaking of the animated series. Oh, yeah. Mark Hamill, of course, he was revived through voice work, essentially. Indeed. All right. Okay. So, anyway, Gene Kelly, as his one condition, did not want to sing in the Rain. Essentially, we're going to see how they win him over on that. Okay, so the episode starts... They just kind of wing it. In true Muppets fashion. Yeah, well, let's wing it. So the episode starts with a character because I'm seeing him so much, I'd love to see him in the new Muppets show they got coming out.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be here and there. I don't think he'll be a major role or anything, but I'm sure he'll be around.
Yeah, so we get Pops. Pops cleaning his chattering teeth.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And then Kelly walks in, and, they didn't have his ticket at the box office. Pops asked for his name. Well, I'm Gene Kelly.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing here? You don't need a ticket.
You don't need a ticket.
You're meant to sing and dance.
No. Kermit just had me here so I can watch the show.
Come on, it'd be like inviting a guy to dinner and then asking him to cook for you.
Is that an offer? Because we could use a good cook, and then the Swedish chef drops in, and as we promised last time, we get to see the Swedish chef
in kind of serial killer mode.
Well, he's not pleased. Remember, the chef, he's the guy who's gonna he'll try to kill a 3D projection with the shotgun. So he's not a guy to mess with.
Exactly.
So the chef is not pleased. You don't want to get in the chef's bad side. So he hits him up, hits Pops with a pot, and then a pot or a pan or something.
Kelly is just genuinely unsettled by the chef.
Now, this is a shtick with Gene Kelly throughout the episode. Like, you just seeing these kooky characters just saying, "Oh, I just being the most polite guest in the world." Seriously, Gene Kelly, he's the guy you want to have over for dinner, and he's just a wonderful person. He's just like, I don't know who you are, but I love your cooking.
It's like, I don't think it's just him, though. I think everyone in this episode is just exceptionally on their A game and just being incredibly pleasant.
And just Gene Kelly always has Gene Kelly is going to sound silly, but in many respects, Gene Kelly was the human version of Kermit the Frog. In many respects.
Well, hold on now.
In many respects,
Jim Henson was the human version of Kermit the
that's
Frog.
what I said.
We've been over this.
Of course, the soul of Jim Henson is the soul of Kermit the Frog, and everything. And the soul of Jim Henson is within Kermit the Frog.
God bless you, Jim.
Exactly, but you know what I mean. Though I'm saying is, if you had a celebrity who was closest to Kermit the Frog, it'd probably be Gene Kelly.
I could see it. I could see an argument for that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of them. Obviously, there's no doubting that Jim Henson is Kermit the Frog in any respect. It's like how Carol Spinney is Big Bird.
Oh God, yeah, exactly. You don't take that away from Carol Spinney. That is Carol Spinney's territory.
There's a whole movie about it, in fact.
Right, which I still need to watch.
And it's fantastic, and everyone out there, check it out. But you see what I mean? It's like if you had a celebrity equivalent to Kermit the Frog, it'd probably be Gene Kelly.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see it.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, so after, again, that fantastic bit there, we get the opening, and the horn gag. One of my favorite of the horn gags, again, is one of my favorite episodes. That's probably why Gonzo, it's a phone call.
Hello? Oh, he's not home.
I gotta tell you, it's a little subtle thing with Gonzo. I just always love it when they do this. I love when his eyes go wide whenever he does stuff like that.
Yeah,
So simple. It's just so pleasant. Okay, anyway, so we see you off stage. As Kermit the Frog is introducing our guest.
Yeah, the greatest singer, director, actor, movie star of all time, the incomparable Mr. Gene Kelly.
Kermit!
Yeah!
Kermit! It's Gene Kelly off stage. Go Kermit.
Kermit, I'm just here to watch.
Yeah.
And then Kermit, he's trying to be as polite as possible, but he's like...
But Gene Kelly's adamant about it. He's very adamant about it. I'm just going to be off stage. I'm watching, like a parent to a show.
I'll just be sitting here, and I'm going to have a great time.
It's like when Norman Bates does his performing art. He has Norman Bates off to the side.
Oh, dear.
I'm kidding.
Norman Bates off to the side when...
they're doing South Pacific.
No, when Norman's doing the stage work and getting ripped.
Oh, of course.
Oh, my Norman, he's getting so strong.
Well, that is a good way to stay in shape. Good on you, Norman. Okay, but seriously, actually, in show business, people have their parents off stage and do that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Believe me, I've heard horror stories of American Idol and Nickelodeon shows and stuff like that. I'm well aware.
Yeah. And anyway, so like you said, Gene goes. I love that staging with Gene Kelly throughout the whole thing. So Gene goes off to the side of the stage, just watching the show. So I love. He has like front row seats in a way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's just chilling.
Yeah, and that gives him the opportunity to like kind of like see Muppets, crossing his path now and again. It's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
cute.
And I love how genuinely into it he is.
Yeah.
Like the complete opposite of Carol Burnett.
Yeah, it's like Gene Kelly is. Yeah, it's kind of funny. You bring it up. Carol Burnett is super peeved at the whole episode.
Like she just could not wait to get out of there. And all she wanted to do was perform.
She's either peeved or in pieces of like, why can't I perform? And Gene Kelly, it's like he's giving a fantastic performance, even if he's not doing a thing.
Exactly.
Even if he's just watching.
They should have literally just had him reading the phone book at a certain point.
Oh yeah. Okay, anyways, let's see. So Gene goes adamant about not performing. The Kermit the Frog is like, he's just this. Of course, if you have a guest star, first of all, if any guest star, Gene Kelly, one of the huge Hollywood linchpins, if he's one of your guests, and he says, you know what, Kermit, politely as possible, says, I'm not going to perform, Kermit. I'm just here to watch the show. You guys are going to be.
It'd be like Orson Welles showing up at the end of the Muppet movie and being like, Kermit, I just shoot. I'm just here to watch you guys shoot your movie. I've done plenty of movie making. I've starred in plenty of movies. I'm good. I'm just here to grace you with your presence.
Well, that's kind of, yeah.
Find another huge Hollywood icon to replace me. I dare you. I just dare you. That's probably more realistically what Orson Welles would do in that situation, actually.
Actually, again, I told you he did an interview with the Muppets on his own show to promote the movie. Orson Welles was a stand-up guy. Okay. More like a sit-down guy, but he had presence when he did it, though. Gene Kelly here was just sit. Well, I don't know if he's sitting. He's like standing off to the side, still giving a fantastic performance, just watching stuff. So we start. Speaking of which, so Gene Kelly off to the side watching this whole first act. We got the endangered species chorus line.
Oh yeah,
I think it is such a funny statement. The endangered species chorus line.
I mean, I almost, dare I say, I almost think it's a little un-PC in today's climate, but screw that. Well, I'm just voicing it, but because I feel like people could react that way.
Well, I mean, they didn't exactly die or anything on stage.
No, I know they didn't die, but...
Well, they are endangered species. What do you want from them?
Yeah, it's maybe like the Special Olympics in a way.
I don't see it. It's like, yeah, that's what we are, so yeah.
Right.
So yeah, we're an endangered species, but we're singing about it. It's awesome.
Hell yeah. But anyways, really good puppetry work here. I love when the Muppets kind of do these kind of one-off sort of puppets that we're never really going to see for more than this one sketch. It really just kind of goes to show the effort put in behind the show.
Yeah, we got a lot of penguins throughout the Muppets always,
Of course, yeah.
And of course, so after the act, periodically I still love Gene Kelly shooing one of the penguins away, like saying hi or something. Then, so the end of the act, it's Gene Kelly's them coming by. Also, Gene Kelly's like a little snack or something, and the penguins take. He says, "Oh, I loved it. I didn't understand it, but I loved it." I know Gene Kelly's such a pleasant guest to have,
He is, and I think he just has this aurora of presence that just emanates from him and makes everyone else around him pleasant as well.
So if you got a pat on the back from Gene Kelly, you'd think, man, I feel very good about myself.
Can't argue with that.
I just said, man, I feel on top of the world. Now, Gene Kelly gave me a pat on the back.
I'll even take getting a pat on the back from the Gene Kelly animatronic in the Great Movie Ride. I'll even take that.
Oh, sure. Thanks, Gene Kelly animatronic. You're welcome. Singing in the rain. Well, it's an animatronic. It has a routine. I'm amazed we get that much out of it. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not as good as getting the pat on the back from the Humphrey Bogart animatronic, but let's not mince animatronics here. Let's keep moving forward.
Let's not. Yes.
To quote Walt Disney, let's keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then we got Prince, the next act backstage. They're preparing for. Oh, this I love. This is hilarious. Prince Rudolph and the Invisible Cheeseburger.
Has anyone seen a cheeseburger? Nope. Oh, good. He's on time for a change.
He's waiting in the wings. Oh, he's on time for a change. Just an invisible cheeseburger. Yeah, and the absurdity and just the fact that you don't see it makes it even better. Well, you would never see it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Get it?
And then here comes another reason that makes this episode really good. The introduction of Beauregard.
Yeah.
Well, not the introduction, but the inclusion of Beauregard as a major character.
Yeah, we love Beau. He's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So Beau stops by and he gets his fortune read by Scooter, who he has a new tarot card deck.
Indeed.
Yeah, the fortune telling cards.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's, I don't know if you did you write it down or do you want me to say it?
No, I was trying to write other things down.
So, in telling his fortune, apparently, I don't know if this is a real thing or like if this is like a real thing you can get if you do the fortune telling or not, because it sounds so ridiculous. I'm going to assume it's fictional. Basically saying, well, right here, the seven of lumps. When the seven of lumps, in ascendance with the beginning of the drowning refrigerator, means the end of the world. So the seven of lumps in ascendance with the beginning of the drowning refrigerator.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's made up.
Yeah, I would hope so. Anyway, so basically, gets his fortune read, saying, oh, "You know what this means, don't you?" What? What does it mean? It says it's the end of the world. So then Kermit's saying, "The bad news! The invisible cheeseburger has lost its voice. It's the end of the world. It only smells of onions.
It's not that bad.
It only smells of onions. All you can smell is the smell of onions. It's the end of the world. It's not that bad." And again, it's like that's another line reading from Kermit the Frog. It's kind of like, oh, good.
Oh, good.
Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
So Kermit, he's really stressing out about the guest star not being on stage.
Yeah, so he's had the happy-go-lucky Gene Kelly waiting in the wings along with the cheeseburger. Well, not along with the cheeseburger. I'm just anyway, so it's not like we could say he's not there.
No, I'm sure the cheeseburger's there.
Just being like what was missing, what was deleted, Tiki, was just Gene Kelly sniffing to the left, like,
God.
I don't know why, but I smell onions, but I love it.
I love it. I still love it.
Anyway, so we got Happy Gene Kelly and Kermit having a chat here, and I wanted to. Oh, this is a fantastic little sequence here. Of course, inspired by something very particular. So we have Happy Gene Kelly on the side here, and Kermit the Frog having a chat. He's very frantic. He's trying to convince him to go on. Says, well, Gene, if you're not going to go on, that means I have to, and I can't dance my way out of warm Jello.
As we saw on the previous episode.
Yep.
These episodes are kind of tied together very well.
Yep. Anyway, so I think the Carabinette one was before this one, so yeah, it makes sense he still can't dance.
Continuity.
Continuity. Boom. So they use so Gene Kelly mentions that he used to be a dance teacher. Oh, right, that's our framing device. Well, yeah, it makes sense he would probably be a dance teacher, actually. In real life, he might have been a dance teacher. I don't see why not. You have someone be a dance teacher. Why not, Gene Kelly? Come on.
Yeah, sorry.
Right. Anyway, so Gene Kelly says, your toes, I'll have your toes tapping, your flippers flapping. And then we see, again, this just shows you the charm of the Muppets. The Muppets in a tough spot, especially Kermit the Frog, the fearless leader of the Muppets. He's awfully crafty, that frog. He's very clever. So I love this. Is such an adorable moment. He said they walk on stage. He says, "Oh, let's go to this quiet area where I can teach you." Anyway, so Kermit leads them to an area that they're on stage, and then Gene Kelly realizes this with a smile on his face, being the consummate performer, just saying, "Kermit, you tricked me.
You talked me into it."
But I just love him calling him on stage, but still with a smile on his face. He's not in a bad mood or anything. He says, "Kermit, you tricked me." That's Gene Kelly to a T. Just the wonderful star that he is.
So yeah, Kelly, he did get tricked by Kermit, a little duped, but that's the genius thing about Kelly, and that's what makes Kelly so wonderful. But as we've just, he's even when he gets duped and even when he gets tricked into performing, he's still nice about it. He's still smiling about it and everything.
Exactly.
So with that in mind, you know, we're going to have some on-stage dance lessons from apparently the world's greatest dance teacher, because, I mean, come on, who else but Gene Kelly to give you dance lessons?
Yeah, he's the guy who's going to have your flippers flipping and your toes tapping.
So what do we see but Kermit the Frog jumping on the piano, and we see a full-body Kermit. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Magical sight.
Full-body Muppets. And do you want me to explain to the kind folks at home how this effect is done?
By all means.
Okay, so basically, as Brian Henson sort of explained, because Brian Henson, I don't know how you're watching these episodes of BlueDragonFive, but I'm watching them on YouTube, and a lot of them have this Brian Henson.
Yeah.
From the DVD.
It's on the VHS tapes, too. That's what I remember.
Okay, yeah. So Brian Henson, he's explaining at the, in the intro to this, like, they had a puppeteer, essentially, who was dressed in all black. That means, like, full body. Like, I'm assuming he had, like, a see-through black mask.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, basically, the piano was against this black backdrop. And so the performer, the puppeteer, basically just blended into the background. It was essentially just really good camouflage. And it was basically a trick to the eye and a really, really very practical, very simple, but extremely convincing practical effect. So,
oh yeah, it looks great. I mean, it's an effect that we've seen replicated since in Muppets Most Wanted, even better, since the times. It's just like Constantine dance.
Well, now what they do is they just literally just Photoshop out all the puppets. Not easy now.
Yeah, but still very impressive. Like a little trip again, showing that movie did pay a lot of homage to the original.
Oh yeah. Okay, so how exactly does the lesson go?
So the lesson goes. It starts off with kind of the instrumentation of Frere Jacques in dance form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, dun, 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 la 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 la. See, it's easy, and then it transitions into the wordy song, the wordy number, which, of course, has been now with Kermit the Frog added into the mix, done with Gene Kelly, through three very iconic characters. So, starts off Jerry Mouse. Way back in the day, started with Jerry Mouse. Fantastic scenes integrating, live action with animated character dancing in perfect sequence of Gene Kelly. He was an amazing marvel, fantastic. Of course, now we have Kermit the Frog dancing with Gene Kelly, very impressive. And
are you going to put Stewie Griffin in the same league as Kermit the Frog and Jerry the Mouse?
I mean, iconic character. I didn't say as fantastic as Kermit the Frog, but he's iconic.
No. I mean, maybe Stewie is on the same level as Jerry. Maybe. But there's no way that he's as iconic as Kermit. I'm sorry.
Work with me here. They're all dancing
on that.
Okay, they're all dancing to the same number. Work with me here, all right?
All right. I am sorry. It's just I just do not like Modern Family Guy. So.
Look, I know Modern Family Guy is terrible, but I'm just saying Stewie Griffin is recognizable. I'm not saying as recognizable as Kermit the Frog by any stretch, but I mean, he has to be ballpark for this bit. Okay.
All right. Go on.
Anyway, what I'm saying is like the most one notable example is with that Stewie on Family Guy. That was back when it was good, mine, and it was Stewie Griffin.
Wasn't that like the first Road 2 episode?
No, that was the third one.
Third one, okay.
Again, the Road 2s have been consistently good, so it hasn't really been a decline.
I think the Road 2s are essentially like Family, the Treehouse of Horror from The Simpsons.
In a way, I mean,
because obviously they have more of a structure to them and more of a story, whereas the Treehouse of Horrors are just The Simpsons just going, batshit, like whatever the hell they feel like doing. But I feel like both of those are kind of like annual episodes of the show that are sort of consistently good, even when the show itself is kind of turned to crap.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a few hit or miss gags, but the majority of it's better compared to the crap Family Guy's been putting out lately.
Exactly, and I think the same can be said about the Treehouse of Horror. So,
Anyway, but what I'm saying is, the family what they did was so brilliantly is they overlaid Stewie on top of the Jerry Mouse, and they matched it perfectly. And aside from reflection here or there of Jerry Mouse on the floor, it's still absolutely fantastic. And seeing it here, probably the best example of doing that number with a different character. It has to be Kermit the Frog dancing with Gene Kelly to that music. The worry song playing as they just dancing and kind of mimicking each other brilliantly. It's purely awesome and fantastic. It really is. It's a fun little sequence. It's the most pure thing you can think of. What's the most pure thing What's the most pure Americana old Hollywood thing you can picture? Kermit the Frog dancing with Gene Kelly. Yes, do it.
I mean, if I had some time, I'm sure I could probably come up with some other stuff. But yeah, that's pretty nice.
I'm just saying, it's such an earnest, wonderful thing. It was Kermit the Frog dancing with Gene Kelly, full body, and it looks fantastic. And it's Gene Kelly teaching a frog to dance. How can you top that? And he's the most beloved frog in the world too. Come on. Okay, so let's see. So what did Statler and Waldorf think of this? Our resident critics of the Muppet House.
I wish Gene Kelly would teach me to dance.
No, teach me at Charleston.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wish he'd teach me at Charleston.
I wish he'd drive me to Charleston.
I
don't really get that.
Wait, what do you mean you don't get Charleston? Yeah, Charleston's the knee dance. Remember when you do
I'm sorry. I'm not an expert dancer.
No, I'm just saying. Still, Charleston. It's the old. Yeah, it's the old term. Doing the Charleston.
Apparently, I need to brush up on my dance terminology.
Well, it's also there's a place named Charleston. So
right. Okay.
That was a clever joke. Anyway, so and now here's a wonderful little bit here, like traditional in the Muppet Show. There was kind of an aftermath of a number, and here's just a wonderful little bit of aftermath where Kermit the Frog he's really happy after dancing with Gene Kelly. He's like kind of humming the music, like toe tapping a little bit, and then Bo walks by and asks, "Oh yeah, I love Bo so much."
He really does kind of steal the episode in a way.
His Bo has always been really great, His Bo just says, Kermit, let me ask you something. Who's that guy just watching the show off to the side? Oh, that's no stranger. That's Gene Kelly, one of the greatest entertainers of our age. Oh, good. I gave him my sponge mop.
Oh, God.
Says Kermit, of course, taken aback by this. Why did you give him your sponge mop? Well, I'm giving away all my things, Kermit.
Somehow I'm reminded of the Guardians of the Galaxy bit with the leg. I don't know why. It just kind of comes to mind.
I don't think it's really appropriate for it, but I can see the humor in it.
Just somebody randomly giving somebody something just for sheer comedic purposes.
Well, of course.
Doesn't make any sense why he would need it. It's just for the laughos.
Well, Muppets Most Wanted, again, copious amounts of things being given to someone that is completely off the wall nutty.
James McAvoy delivering the badge.
Well, no, I was thinking the whole Miss Piggy and Constantine number.
Oh, right. Oh, God.
Anyway, so of the SpongeBob. So basically, Kermit's saying, Bo's being silly here, and he's worried himself, saying, "Oh, I've been worried sick." And then, as the next number prepares to go on, Veterinarians Hospital, they walk by and says, "Oh, good, we need a patient."
Oh, God. And then as they walk by, Gene's there.
I love this.
With the sponge mop. Oh, my God.
And then here's the moment I love. Here's what I love. Just Gene Kelly, again, one of the most friendly people, the most friendly, respected, talented people in the world, with a sponge mop in his hand, saying with all the sincerity in the world to Bo, "Oh, hi, thanks for the sponge mop."
Oh, my God. I'd like to think that because he's not performing, he's like, well, these guys are letting me watch the show, so the least I could do is just clean up. I'm gonna make this backstage look spotless.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't put it past Gene Kelly. He's so amenable. I don't see why he wouldn't do that. But it's him saying, "Thanks, Bo. Thanks for the sponge mop." It's fantastic. You there? Hello. Memories. Okay. Back to the episode. Okay, so let's see. So again, We're now on Veterinarians Hospital, the show about Bo the stagehand who has lost his marbles. That's their patient this week, Bo the stagehand. Not little Bo Peep, bear in mind. Tiki, you there? Well, folks, I'm going to vamp and continue through the episode while I wait for Tiki to rejoin things, so bear with me. Not Fozzie. Oh, here he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
The Bo the stagehand.
Yes. So,
Veterinarians Hospital, the story of a quack.
Oh, dear. So, first of all, this is just a great sketch. I feel like this is kind of an underrated Muppet Show sketch.
Yes. It's all it's like a takeoff on MASH almost, just a medical drama with a lot of comedy in it.
I didn't even think of MASH, but yeah, it's the time period a lot more. For me, I was thinking more ER, but obviously this is before ER.
Well, remember, ER actually started off as a comedy.
That's true. Oh God.
And with George Clooney and Bo.
Yes.
He's versatile.
He is. And he can Batman.
Well, he invented a jetpack. Let's focus on that.
Oh God.
Okay, so Bo, so basically, little Bo Peep. No, Bo the stagehand lost his marbles, not a sheep.
Okay, now my favorite moment in this whole episode is right here.
Okay.
And it's when Miss Piggy is just like, "Oh, don't listen to him, Bo."
Yeah, she's very nice to Bo.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? It is so rare to see Miss Piggy have, like, genuine anyone. And it's so pleasant when it happens.
Poor Gonzo. Gonzo never, except for that one moment with Camilla, Gonzo never gets any affection from Miss Piggy. And Bo, someone who, again, she had Gonzo in the first movie, all right?
Right.
Bo, nothing. I mean, no, Bo gets everything Gonzo nada from Miss Piggy. There's a great little short of the two of them in the elevator, and Gonzo saying, well, Miss Piggy, I just want to put all that behind us. I want to be friends. And she just does not,
like, not having any of
ignores him completely. Just does not even address that he's in the elevator. Such a diva, that pig. Anyway, so there were some really funny lines exchanged. So basically, that's what Veterinarians Hospital is. There's a bunch of one-liners kind of poking, taking a few friendly jabs at the show they're parodying,
Sure.
Just like saying it's a medical drama with a lot of puns. So basically it says, hey, that's not nicey. It's not funny either. I love just Bo saying nicey.
Yeah. So Bo, he's warning about the end of the world, and Janice has a strong reaction to it.
Oh no!
I had so many things I wanted to do with my life, like do my hair and buy some new shoes. I love Janice. I really do.
Janice is always a good.
I feel like she's kind of the perfect Muppet for, she's never really the focus of attention, but when she gets the spotlight, it's almost always hilarious.
Yeah, Janice is the perfect reserve Muppet in terms of when you're doing something with the Muppets and there's a lull in the scene, or if there's a moment of pause, you're like, okay, we need a gag here. Janice is the one to deliver every time.
Exactly.
Anyways, then he says, well, how do you know the world's going to end? It was in the cards. Oh, well, there's nothing to worry about. He's not playing with a full deck. Oh. So it's kind of like the old guys in a medical skit, essentially. That's essentially what the Veterinarians Hospital is. That's why it's hilarious. It's kind of, I'll tell you what, it's a cross between the old. It's a cross between the old guys and at the dance, but in a medical setting.
Right.
That's what it is. So we get very nice Miss Piggy.
Yeah, that's when we get nice Miss Piggy. Really encouraging to the guy that's getting picked on. I mean, it's like you never see that with her, ever.
Never see that. This is, okay, what it basically says, there will be a sign, something that's never happened before, and like Dr. Bob curing a patient, or Nurse Janice keeping her mouth shut, or one honest laugh. Ooh! So then basically the announcer's taking us out, and again, the running gag throughout all the veterinary hospitals, and whenever the announcer goes, they have no idea where he's at, so they're looking all around like, what the?
Right.
God, what the heck's going on here? So then the announcer falls. This is a funny one. So the announcer falls. He says, "Good thing I landed on something soft," and Bo takes offense to that. All right. So then we get a reference to Singing in the Rain, which, by the way, Tiki, did you have any time to watch it?
You know what? I figured, given our situation with recording this episode, I figured it'd probably be better if I hadn't watched it. So,
well, I've just ruined that then. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did. So I probably could have watched it now. So thanks. No, it's okay.
Well, let's continue the shame on you not watching it. Okay, just make sure you
watch it. All right. Sure. That's fair enough.
Anyway.
Shame.
Shame for all. There's a little shame going around. I have some shame. He's had shame. We love our shame here, but I'm not too crazy about shame.
I remember Roger Ebert used to have this segment on Ebert and Roper whenever, I think it was for whenever they would review movies that did not get a critic pre-screening. You know what I mean? That they were so bad that that critics had to review them when it released to the general public. He would always give them one finger of shame. And he'd always do it in like a wagging finger of shame. And he'd always do it in like exaggerated, like he'd always like say it in slow motion. And now next time on the wagging finger of shame.
Well, when I'm thinking shame, I'm thinking the Fozzie Bear. Shame. That's what I'm thinking.
That's also a good one.
Okay, anyway, so we have a reference to Singing in the Rain, just kind of one of Gene Kelly's classic numbers in general. So basically, it's kind of a neat little reference here that they're dogs singing "Fit as a Fiddle, Ready for Love." Mm-hmm. And Gene Kelly and Donna Connor, they sang that in Singing in the Rain, and the kind of the full get-up of like the candy stripes and the little Susquehanna hat.
Right.
Yeah, like playing the fiddle and stuff. So they did that in Singing in the Rain.
Okay.
But it was done here with Muppet Dogs.
Yes.
Oh, then we get one of my favorite bits in the whole episode, barring the ending. Barring the ending, because the ending is very moving, which we'll get to. We're building to it, folks. We're still kindling the fire. But still, this is my second favorite moment, the whole thing, with the end of this scene we're talking about here. Okay, so, Gene Kelly and Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy, of course, she loves talking to the guests. So Gene Kelly's waiting by the door, waiting by the wings, I guess. No, it's not. But he's waiting by the door. Mm-hmm. By the way, I love that as kind of a set piece in the Muppet backstage, kind of that door. And of course, they have great use of it here in this episode.
Oh my God, yeah.
So Gene Kelly's waiting by the door, and Miss Piggy rushes to him because she thinks he's leaving, and basically says, "Oh, you know how you." I'm sorry, take us through. What's going on here? What's the sound?
Oh, Gene, you know how you sing to all these beautiful women. I really do that good, don't I?
You do. It's either Miss Piggy or Norma Bates. That's the thing. That's what I keep thinking of. Whatever you do with that, either Miss Piggy or Norma Bates or both.
Normie!
Don't do that. Don't do it. You're going to crack the comedy continuum if you do that.
Well, I need some laughs from my current situation, so.
Okay, well, don't go too much into the normal, or else we'll never get through this. Okay, anyway, so Miss Piggy, so what's she saying?
Well, like I said, she's just bringing up the whole Gene Kelly singing with beautiful women, and, Gene's like, yes, I've been lucky.
Yep. Yeah, basically, she thought he was grabbing a taxi, and, he says, no, building up to that. Sorry, he's just like, no, I'm having fun, which I think is a really nice thing for Gene. He says, no, I'm having a blast. And just all the chaos in the Muppet Show, he's still having a blast. He's a wonderful human being. So, because you're not doing, well, you're so good at not doing anything. It's adorable. Miss Piggy and Gene Kelly are adorable together. They really are. So basically, yeah, so she asked if he would, Gene, will you sing to me?
No, it's more like, oh, please sing to me, Gene.
Yeah, I know, the please just sells it completely.
It does.
Then they sing a really great musical number that was done very well with Judy Garland, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Gene Kelly singing with Judy Garland was based on, at least that's the most prominent example of it, singing You Wonderful You. And oh my God, what a beautiful song. first and foremost. And then the way it's sang with Miss Piggy, you know, just that. I love the ending, so that's what I really had memorized. But you know, just the going through.
Of course, Miss Piggy is just swooning over every word.
Oh yes, and it's adorable. It's beautiful, and then it's kind of building to the ending, kind of the crescendo of it all. You know, it's just wonderful ballad, and then Gonzo interrupts as the music's still playing. Miss Piggy, you got to change for your next number. Like your pigs and faces. Oh, I gotta go. She's gotta get out of there.
Okay, now this is another example of Miss Piggy being exceptionally pleasant.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in any other episode, she'd like basically karate chop Gonzo for interrupting.
Very, very true. Again, she still doesn't give him the time of day, but she just says, "Oh."
No. But she's committed to her performance. You know, she's not putting herself before. And I'm like, man, it's like Gene Kelly just has this air of humbleness that
he does. Seriously, how can you not be in a good mood after just like singing or at least being part of a song with Gene Kelly? You know? It's beautiful. How can you not? Hello? Hello? Anyway, so Gonzo, after Gonzo's interruption, the Gene goes, "But Miss Piggy, our song! We didn't get to finish our song!" Anyway, so then Gonzo says, "Oh, why don't you finish it with me?" And Gene Kelly's just like saying, "Oh, I guess." And he says, "Well, what song are you singing?" "You Wonderful You." "Perfect." You know, basically, so he fills in. That's fantastic. It'll work perfectly. So then they sing the song is lovers, like winners, losers. Sorry, I'm butchering this, but it's like losers, weepers, lovers, dreamers. Oh, but oh, it's true. You wonderful you. And it's just the sweetest, most endearing thing. I'm not doing it any justice, but it's the sweetest, most endearing thing you've ever seen. It's such a wonderfully magical moment of just Gonzo. Just Gonzo. Gonzo's being there with Gene Kelly, having like a little bit in the song, not a whole lot, just like the lovers, losers, weepers, that whole thing. It's beautiful.
Okay, I'm back.
Any thoughts on the Gonzo ending?
No.
No, it's such a fantastic, sweet bit, and just like Gonzo is so adorable when he's with the guest stars. I don't know what it is. Every time I see him with a guest star, it's adorable. What Gene Kelly's filling in with this really sincere ending to a song. It's not really meant for Gonzo, which it works so well though, and that's Gonzo to a T. He's kind of he's unconventional in many ways, but just being kind of unconventionally put into a part that just works so well for him. In the end,
he's unconventionalism. There's only one of him ever in the Muppets universe, ever.
All right.
Ever.
Oh, hey, where's your Gene Kelly positivity?
I'm sorry, give me a break.
All right, but still, you see what I mean? Though, isn't it such an adorable image? Just Gonzo like kind of whisked away by Gene Kelly, and just not deterred by it all, just being sucked in the magic as we all are. That's my second favorite moment of the episode, that Gonzo ending. You know, but it's such a great song. Working with it too. Anyway, so pigs in Spain.
Pigs in Spain.
Okay.
All right, what's going on here?
Okay, so we'll get into it. By the way, the more I watch it, the more I fall in love with Link. Link is hilarious.
He is.
I
think he's probably one of the more underrated Muppets.
He is, especially in one of our episodes coming up. He has a really hilarious bit in it. But anyway, so Link says, basically he wonders, I wonder how the announcer is. Already sprained his ankle on the last sketch.
Oh yeah, that announcer, man, he's diligent.
Yeah.
I think it's probably like Gene Kelly, you know, it's like maybe in any other show the announcer would have gone home early with that sprained ankle. But no, Gene Kelly's here, so he has to continue on.
Yeah, it's still Link just showing concern for the announcer. I love that.
Right.
And just like dressing, yeah, there was a sketch of one before. He's not exactly in the moment. He's like a uber hammy version of William Shatner. It's wonderful.
Well, yeah, that's his character. Yeah,
I know, that's the thing. I'm just saying he plays it so well. Okay, anyway, so let's see. So then there's a white glowing little window of the spaceship, and that represents the We've reached it, as Dr. Strangepork says. We've reached it. The end of the universe.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So the meaning and purpose of life, we'll know the meaning and purpose of life in 1 minute. And then the clock appears. So within 60 seconds, we will know the meaning and purpose of life. Which, again, this whole meaning and purpose of life thing, they set up in Pigs of Space here. This really makes me think that this would have made a perfect finale to the Muppets, because it's addressing kind of the end of the thing.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's like there's literally like nothing else you can do with Pigs in Space after this.
And again, interestingly enough, with kind of some of these special Muppet episodes, they are kind of bridging some really interesting themes underneath it all, like kind of reaching an end or kind of reaching a point in your career. So they're going with here, again, Kelly and this Pigs in Space sketch kind of represent kind of reaching the end of something and just kind of looking back on everything. I think that's kind of like the great thematic, and you don't get with every Muppet show. And I think that makes it one of the big things that makes this one stand out. You know.
Sure.
Anyway, so they wait 60 seconds. It's counting down in real time on the clock, and well, at least it still goes to commercial. And then basically the Link asks what they hear the dinner gong. So basically, apparently on the ship they have dinner. And,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm just saying they have dinner. And what's for dinner? It says a swill stroganoff. So then Link goes off. Wait, can't you just skip dinner? Skip dinner, but it's swill stroganoff. And he leaves. And then the still counting down. Miss Piggy and Dr. Strangepork just can't help themselves with 5. I counted exactly. I looked at it on the road down. Literally, had they. By the time they leave that room, had they just waited 5 seconds, they would have known. And again, that's the idea. They couldn't just wait 1 minute for dinner. 1 minute.
Yeah, that's the joke. Is that we're just so preoccupied with everything.
Yep. So again, there's the 3 things there: end of the world in Pigs in Space, end of the world with Bo, and end the things with Gene Kelly.
Okay, I just want to point out something though.
Yeah,
if this episode is a commentary, if this joke in particular is a commentary on how society is like attention span, then my God, in like this Netflix, YouTube, like instant gratification era, like how much worse has it gotten?
No, it's gotten pretty bad.
We have not learned our lesson at all. Okay, anyways.
All right. So then we got a Muppet News Flash.
Yes.
So you can't find
story in history.
Yep. Unfortunately, the Muppet News announcer cannot find his notes on the end of the universe.
No.
And the announce, but so no one knows the meaning and purpose of life as we cut back to the Pigs in Space ship, and there's one person who does know, however, Tiki, and who is that person?
The person is I don't know. It's been a while.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
The announcer.
Oh, the announcer, of course.
The announcer's the only one. The announcer's the only one who knows this. And then he, as Miss Piggy is not pleased by the answer, I know something you don't know. Quite literally, Miss Piggy pulls the lever. You're saying I know you don't know. And basically he pulls the lever and then the announcer falls again on the control panel. Pigs in space. Yep. All right, so then we have the next number in preparation here. The behind the scenes backstage, the Jug Hugger band, the Jug Man, they want to go on, but Kermit has another number in mind. So he's shutting them down. Says we don't really need a Jug band for this number, and apparently what's going on behind Gene Kelly's purview is that they're building an exact duplicate of the Singing in the Rain set, the big show-stopping number of Singing in the Rain. Its namesake, the big musical number of that. And says, well, and Scooter's asking, well, how did you convince Gene Kelly to do it? Says, well, he doesn't know yet. And again, I love how this worked into the Brian Henson opening, by the way, when there's
exactly
story, because it works so perfectly. Well, he doesn't know yet.
Yeah, because of course, as we established, like there was one condition that Gene Kelly was going to do the Muppet Show, and that was that he did not do Singing in the Rain.
So they built an exact duplicate with the only intention of we need Gene Kelly to do this.
Now, was this an exact duplicate, or was
well,
it the actual set?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I'm saying I think it's a. It looks.
If it's a duplicate, it's a damn good duplicate.
That's the thing. It looks like the exact set. That's what I can tell you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
If anything, the only thing I can think of, and again, I have to rewatch it because it's been a little while. The background may or may not. It's either a fantastically convincing back painting, like a matte painting of sorts. Basically the set might be painted on there. I'm not sure. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's a recreation. I think it's a recreation.
Okay.
That's what I think. But I don't know. I'm saying they had to convince Gene Kelly. I think that would have maybe helped convince him. Well, he went to all this trouble. I mean, I guess.
We've already established Gene Kelly's not one to be rude at all.
Anyways, so, I'm gonna think that they recreated the set. That's what I ideally get. I'd be more impressed by that. But I'm gonna think that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so then let's see. So, so then Gene Kelly walks by, and basically let's Sing in the Rain kind of looming in the air here. He's saying, "Oh, well, how do you feel about Singing in the Rain?" And essentially, that's what they're getting at. How do you feel about Singing in the Rain? He says, "Oh, I'd perform any number, but not that one." Basically, essentially saying anyone but that one, not that one. So
I would love to be a fly on the wall for how the actual meetings to get him to do this went.
Yeah, this would have been great. Right. So basically says okay, not that number. And anyway, so Kermit the Frog says basically Kermit plays along and he just tells Jugman, you're up next, Jugman, you're up next. So I believe it's Lubbock Love and the Jug Huggers, the Jugman. They're singing Cool Water on the Singing in the Rain set, rain included within the set.
Of course.
As you would imagine. I mean, it is complete recreation. And Gene Kelly loves it, by the way. So I think this is also a big factor kind of wins him over in the end because he loves kind of, in a way, he loves that the Muppets failed. But it's like it comeuppance for the Muppets, but not mean-spirited at all. It's like, well, they wanted me to do it, but, I told him I wasn't going to do it the whole time. I informed him I didn't do anything wrong, and I'm just enjoying. This is a hilarious farcical take on Singing in the Rain.
Right.
So I think Gene Kelly's he loves it. He loves this Cool Water song. Like basically they're almost drowning like turkeys almost as they're singing this thing. Cool, refreshing water. Yeah, it's beautiful. And then, oh boy, here we go. Here's the start of it. Oh boy, it's getting to that moment, folks. We're getting to that emotional moment, but we're building to it.
Oh, God.
So Gene Kelly's just being the smart, lovable guy that he is. It's pretty obvious, but still, he's just saying, "Don't hear the frog." To be honest, Jeff's number is 7. He says, Herman, were you hoping I'd do it? I'd do it.
Oh, Gene, it never crossed my mind.
Yeah. Basically, essentially saying, I get it, I get the love for it, but people, I've done it so many times that people ask. I used to do it all the time at the drop of a hat. Then Rolf plays the piano to get their attention, and then just he drops a hat hoping to get them to do it. So again, Rolf is that cracked me up the first time I saw it. Just Rolf like playing like din din din.
I missed the detail of him literally. That's good.
Dropping a hat, like nodding his head, the Jimmy Dean Rolf style, which I love the Jimmy Dean.
Yeah,
I love those songs. Those were such brilliant comedy. Oh my god, it was beautiful. Anyways, it's classic Rolf. Oh yeah. Anyway, so here's the poignant part of the episode, folks. Here's a really poignant part. We're getting to the emotional. We're getting there. So Gene Kelly says, he realized it's because he's done it before. He's done it a lot of times. It's a popular song, beloved movie. He says he realized he'd never be able to do it as good as the movie. He'd never be able to do it better than the movie. And that's an interesting perspective for an actor to take. You do something so well, and of course there's that fear with anyone who's doing something creative, whether it's a show. Usually it's with a show, or with a movie, that you can never recreate the magic. That. People like to go on high notes. That's like Seinfeld went out on a high note. Actually, here's something interesting to kind of meld this with the Muppet Show in general. By the way, They could have kept going, the Muppet Show. The Muppet Show, it didn't get canceled. Jim Henson decided to not do it anymore.
Right, right.
And yeah, it's kind of he wanted to go out on a high note, and he had other things that he wanted to push.
He was concentrated on like the Fraggles and Labyrinth and stuff like that.
He wanted to do different things, and he could have kept going with the Muppets, but it was like another thing. It looked great, and in the end, with working all the shows, but it was time consuming. He had other stuff to do, and he figured, let's leave people wanting more. And with that want, they're going to go to the other stuff we got lined up.
Exactly.
So it's kind of an interesting little kind of comparison there, but
I'm sure this whole Kelly thing of him not wanting to perform it because he didn't think it'd be as good as the movie. I'm sure that life to a certain extent.
Yeah, I'm sure that's based on something with Gene Kelly. Like any actor would feel that way. It's like it's always about kind of duplicating stuff. That's why actors don't do the roles the good actors at least, they don't do the roles until they're dead and buried. Not every actor.
If I were to make a quick comparison to kind of the sentimental feeling I have in this episode, Dave Chappelle almost, I feel some similar regards to him in terms of, I feel like he was a more extreme case than Kelly was with being pinned into doing something over and over, but the whole thing with Chappelle is that, I could go on for days about how genius his comedy was and how it broke racial barriers and whatever. But the one thing that people latched onto was the whole, I'm Rick James bitch. That, he could not escape that. Once that became a thing and once that became kind of like a big meme, he'd literally go to stand-up comedy shows. And he even had a stand-up bit where he talks about taking his kids to Disney World, and even the employees, just going up to him in front of his kids and just being like, I'm Rick James, bitch. So it's why Chappelle kind of did sort of, he kind of fell off the face of the earth for a bit because...
It's the double-edged sword of fame.
Exactly. So obviously with Kelly, it's not as severe of a thing because I legitimately kind of mess with Chappelle kind of mentally, which I think is kind of unfortunate. Fortunately, Chappelle's back and we'd stand up now and everything like that. But for a time, it was really hard for him to get away with that, especially because Chappelle was, he was so devoted to his craft and so devoted to the whole. I'm not. I don't think you have any knowledge of Chappelle at all, BlueDragonFive. I could be wrong, but his whole thing was just kind of tearing down the racial lines and sort of making fun of racism. You know what I mean? That was kind of what Chappelle's show was all kind of funded on, was hey, let's show these instances of racism, but let's just see how ridiculous it is and let's kind of make humor out of it. So anyways, I'm kind of I'm kind of going off on a tangent here,
yes.
But I'm just saying it does kind of sentimentally, it kind of reminds me of that in a way, the whole being pinned into this one thing when you don't really want to be. Anyways, I apologize.
It's a typecasting fear everyone has, but in this case, it's with doing the same thing over and over again. You never want to do that. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so it's an interesting position. Again, with the thematic thing here being kind of old Hollywood, just trying to. It's like you have classic actors trying to do things they used to do, and maybe they're afraid that getting older or getting outdated and the new what's popular now. It's it's going to be they try and fail and they just ruin their reputation by trying again.
Right.
There's a fear of that with anyone, especially classic like Gene Kelly, one of the symbols of Hollywood.
Dare I say Birdman is kind of like that?
I'm saying Gene Kelly was kind of the original Birdman to a degree.
Oh dear. Well, let's not give Birdman that much credit.
Yeah. You see what I mean? They see what I'm getting at. There's a bit of kind of old Hollywood kind of seeing kind of aging with the times here.
Sure.
There's always a fear of you can never some movies you don't remake. You don't remake Casablanca.
If they ever remake Casablanca, I'm seriously gonna flip my shit.
You probably shouldn't remake Gone with the Wind either.
No, that wouldn't be the idea. I feel like they already are kind of half flirting with the idea of remaking Wizard of Oz.
Well, they've kind of,
already done it in a way.
Well, it's a version of Wizard of Oz.
Oh dear, Franco. I love you, Franco. I really do.
Well, no, not that. I'm talking about the other remake.
Oh, well, what other remake? What are you talking about?
The Wiz.
Oh, The Wiz? Oh, that's something else entirely. Oh dear.
No, that's like no. The James Franco one's not a remake. It's a quasi prequel.
It's weird.
You know,
it's so weird.
Let's not get into the Franco thing now. Okay, let's not do it now. But back to Kelly. Back to the beloved Gene. Okay, so anyways, so let's see. So as he makes that real poignant point about, you realize you never be able to do it better than the movie. So then Rolf starts to vamp. Says, "Well, Gene, does this vamp make you think of anything you want to sing about or anything like that?" It basically plays a ballad of Gene Kelly songs. It just shows you that Gene Kelly is there. That it's kind of the symbolic thing of what's happening here is that Gene Kelly still longs for those days. Longs for those performances, and they're still in his heart, and he still appreciates them. That's what he just said about Singing in the Rain. He loves those performances, and he has a lot of reverence for the movie, but he doesn't want to try to cheapen it by doing it wrong.
Sure.
But still, there's a love and nostalgia for it, so he sings a ballad of some notable songs he sang, like "Swonderful." Swonderful. This, there's that, and he says, there's "You Were Meant for Me."
Mm-hmm.
And again, as this is a beautiful moment here. We're building to it, folks. We're building to it. This is like part one of it. So the Muppets are gathering around, and they're joining in like a little bit of like "Wonderful," and like they're singing a little bit there. Each one, like Scooter had a bit in that. Then there was "You Were Meant for Me," and Miss Piggy is joining in. So the rest of them, "For Me and My Gal." It's just there's more and more. A ballad of Gene Kelly songs, and then the last one. Well, how about this one? Here's the moment. Oh, this is the moment that makes my heart melt. It's just Rolf's playing. Dun, 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 dun. Bear in mind, all those songs have a similar start with the Singing in the Rain melody.
Well, yeah.
That's the gag. Anyway, so it's a funny gag in the midst of like a lot of heartfelt stuff too, by the way. So then he's playing. Finally, now he's got after 3 times the charm, 3 songs, and we're there. Dun, 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 dun. It's singing. I'm singing in the rain.
And then the audience just goes
nuts
as he starts
singing. My God, it's so beautiful. The audience just like they instantly cheer. That's what they've been building to. So you hear this cheer after I'm singing in the rain. Yeah! It's just it's beautiful. And then here's the moment. So as he starts singing, again, it's so beautiful here that Gene Kelly, he's not, the way he does it here, he's not emulating it to a T. So he's doing it he's reflecting on Singing in the Rain through song. He's not trying to duplicate. He's just reflecting on it through song. As he's singing the song a little bit, doesn't sing the whole thing really. Just sings a bit of it, and he's just walking around to the melody of the song. It's something so poignant about this. He's walking around the old set, and just that sequence. This is the beautiful moment. That music's playing. He's sang a majority of it, and he's just walking through the old set, and it's like the old Hollywood magic.
Yeah, it's pretty
in that scene.
It's pretty spine tingling, I got to admit. I mean, as a fan of old Hollywood myself, it's need to see Singing in the Rain, but I can still appreciate it. It's definitely, it feels like a time capsule of something. It just feels like an important moment.
It does. I'm singing and dancing in the rain. Do do do. Do 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 is walking off stage.
It's like the guy's reflecting on what exactly the song meant to him and how far he's come from it.
Exactly. It's again such old Hollywood music, old Hollywood magic and music captured perfectly on screen, on the small screen in a big way. Sure. It's amazing. Okay, and after that beautiful moment, it's the idea that they got him performing. He's walked out on that stage. The audience saw him, and he didn't really do it. Again, Gene Kelly doesn't have to do a lot, but just being there.
Exactly.
It's something beautiful. It truly is. That's my favorite part of the episode. That's why this episode is probably one of my favorite, if not the favorite Muppet episodes. And then what's our ending gag here? So after the curtain call, it's like the whole thank you for coming on the show. Bo appears.
Oh God.
So Gene Kelly, being the kind soul that he is, he wants to set Bo straight so Bo's not fearing the end of the world. No, it's the end. It's the end of the world. How can we end the show now? Now, Bo, I looked into your tarot cards.
No, specifically, he read the instruction manual on his tarot cards.
Yes, I read the instruction manual to your cards, to your fortune-telling cards, Bo, and it says basically on the thing, like repeat on the drowning of the refrigerators. It doesn't mean the end of the world. What it means is that your laundry will come back gray and dingy, and then Bo just gives his look of like, wait, what? I know you're just saying that to make me feel better, but the end is here. No, Bo, the end is now. Yeah, the credits are rolling by. The Muppets are palling around with Gene Kelly. It's a magical thing. And what's our post-credit scene?
Are you ready for the end of the world? Sure, it couldn't be any worse than this show.
Oh man, this was such a good episode.
It really is. It really is. Yeah, it's a classic.
It's probably my favorite Muppet episode. It's just so beautiful. It's so magical. So much emotion. So much heart. It epitomizes what the Muppets can strive for. On top of that peak of what they can accomplish.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And my favorite element of this episode is just the fact that everyone is just on their A game. You know what I mean? It just seems like the presence of Kelly just makes everyone so devoted to their craft. And I feel like that's kind of just like a subtle sort of thing it's not even really like pounded into your head. It's just sort of there. You know what I mean? They all respect him so much that they want to put on the best show possible.
Absolutely.
And there's something just really admirable about that.
Of course.
So, all right. I guess that's it. It's
a fantastic episode. I can watch it 100 times. It's beautiful, you know?
For sure. So, who do we have up on the docket next time?
Well, folks, it's not a bird. It's not a plane. You know, it looks a lot like Superman, but I could be wrong. It's the wonderful, it's the talented, it's the man who made us believe that a man could fly. It is, without question, Christopher Reeve.
Yes. And out of the 5 episodes we're covering, I'd say this is probably the most, I don't want to say standard, but it's the one that keeps the most to the formula, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's kind of the most average of the Muppet episodes. I mean, I got to tell you, I think it might be the funniest out of the 5.
I think so.
It's just hilarious.
I
remember liking it, but rewatching it is hysterical.
Oh dear, and Miss Piggy. Oh, this is definitely Miss Piggy's standout episode out of the 5. Okay, so we will be talking about that next time. Join us next time on the Muppets Rewound with our very special guest star, Mr. Christopher Reeve. Yeah!